Hey, down here in Houston, some might say it's scorching hot, but I'm just going to call it a beautiful day. Somebody's laughing at me. Okay, I want to make sure that this stream is working today. I've gone out twice testing, and both times my audio didn't work, among other things. Let's see. Okay, I think it says I'm live. But I specifically want to make sure that the volume's working. And I might not be able to do that with my phone plugged in here. So I'm just going to unplug it. Okay, so volume, audio's working. Okay. Now, so I can switch views on my phone here. Okay, so on the left side of the screen is what I use to switch views. So let's go to, that's Chart Plotter plus iPhone. And so what I'm going to do is get started with this thing. The volume was working a minute ago. I gotta make sure every once in a while.
Media will play softer.
No. No. I don't want softer. No. Softer. Do not want softer. Why did that happen? Okay. Alright, so now let's go to wouldn't that be something if I could see the stream and also connect to the camera? So for some reason, I gotta check into this, research it a little bit. If this camera is not connected to the phone, it shuts off. Okay, so we've got the rear cam, and then I can also see chat on this. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I don't want settings, I want my browser. Okay, so let's test that chat. Let's check our volume again. Testing, that looks good. Okay. Now I mounted this, I got two phones here. One's an old Android and that's got that chat on it. And I've got that mounted horizontally. And I really probably should have mounted it vertical, but I can change that. Okay, now, so I could do that. But I don't really need that. I only wanted to check the volume. Or the audio. Okay, so now, we're getting close. I hate to wear a shirt because it's already 85 and super humid down here. But to hook the mic. Okay, this is probably a bad idea. I wanted to be able to hook the mic to my shirt so my audio is better. I've been fighting audio so much, I want the best I can get now. Okay, so that's all done. We got the rudders down. We got the engine hooked up. Let that warm up a little bit. Then let's see if we can get this camera up without it shutting off on me. Okay, there we go. So now I'm not hearing my chat. Why am I not hearing my chat? Okay. Let's go with, no. In fact, I'm going to go down and create another view with both cameras. Oh, I don't have to go down, I can do that right here. What am I thinking? Okay. Go to 2. Let's go with this one and this one. Hit done, and then we'll change. We'll give that wide view camera the wide location. Let's see. Okay. Volume still seems to be working. How's that view of the boat? It looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go down and test my headphone volume one more time before I untie and take off, because I should be hearing my chat in my ear. So I got a laptop down here. Okay, so we're connected to the mic, or to the headphone, to the headset. Yeah, we're connected in 2 places, Bluetooth, and it's selected. Now let's go here. I bet you I have to have this. Yep, there we go. So I actually have to have okay, so these are a little bit annoying for anybody who might be watching. But I'm leaving them there for now. I don't have many viewers ever anyway. So I'm leaving it like that with all of those exclamation point statements. For one thing, they might add some value and people may like them, we'll see. But what they do for me is they allow me to hear my chat and I can be assured that it's working. You know what I mean? Good morning. Okay. I don't like how this headset fits. It Did some work on it last night, but still not right. Okay, dagger board's down, rudder's down, power's disconnected. Untied from the dinghy. I think we're ready. Checkers is down below because he's not liking the heat. He got some stitches this week, and so he's got to have a cone on his head so that he doesn't lick or chew the stitches, which he'll do in about 30 seconds without the cone. Morning. Yeah, if the wind comes up.
Yeah, you headed out? Sailing?
Actually, I'm going out. I got a system here I got to checking my autopilot. So today's a testing day.
I know what you're doing. I see you out there.
Okay. That's Cinnamon Girl. I don't know what his name is. Let's see, does he show up on the AIS? Oh, Checkers hears me talking to somebody and he wants to come up. Hi, buddy. As soon as I get to stop the boat, Checkers, I'll bring you up. Last time you didn't want to be up. You okay, buddy? Okay, I'm gonna... Okay. I turned my trolling motor on, and I think it'll stay. You have to press the button and turn the power on up at the trolling motor. And then I believe it stays on for 15 minutes, and then it shuts off. If you run the motor remotely from my remote control back here, within that 15 minutes, well, then I think it will stay for another 15 minutes without using it. So I just checked it. What's going on here? Display. Okay, there's the deploy. So I'm going to deploy it. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put the rope on the other opposite side of it, so I'm not going to deploy it. When I untie the boat, I have one rope that goes over the top of the trolling motor when I'm tied up. But to deploy the trolling motor, I always like to take that rope and not fish it, but just swing it underneath the trolling motor so that when the motor comes up, it doesn't touch that rope at all. I mean, I don't even think it would hurt anything, but just a precautionary step. So I hope my audio is working. Let me just check again. Test. It looks like it's working. It better be working or I'm going to be pissed. Okay, so let's get this Well, let's change some screens. So right now we've got chart plotter and 360 cam from above. Then I can switch to, this is a view of my rear camera and my Android phone for controlling the stream. So I don't know if you can see on the screen, that view should have a red border around it. So now I can switch to both cameras and then chart plotter. Now I'm going to change my chart plotter. I think that's fishing. I gotta watch, see if there's anybody behind me because I'm going really slow and not exactly on my side of the channel. Okay, so let's expand that out a little bit. Why am I not seeing depth? I know I'm seeing 7.6 feet, but I wonder why I'm not seeing it on the screen. What's the 3D? I don't usually use this. So those are names of other boats that are showing up on my AIS system. That's a weird view. I don't like it. What's the raster chart? Okay. Relief shading. The Moon Shadow, that's a big ship owned by or boat, not exactly a ship, that I think is owned by Kima Boardwalk. So all on our right side here is the Kima Boardwalk. So if you look that way, you can see the roller coaster from the Kima Boardwalk. I'll just leave the camera like that for a while. Across on this side are the parking lots for Kima Boardwalk. And then they have a shuttle up here that goes back and forth. But I think they might have put that shuttle away for the winter. Or maybe the school year, not exactly the winter. But, so let's leave it like that. So I'm sweating my butt off here. There's no wind. It's about 85 degrees, I think, maybe climbing. So, okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about my boat. I'm preparing this boat. Well, the purpose. Let's start with the purpose of the boat. I want to go on the Great Loop, which is a 6,500 mile, if you take the standard routes, about 6,500 mile loop that goes around the eastern side of the United States. You travel the intercoastal waterway most of the way. So for example, when I leave from Houston here, I can either trailer my boat to Mobile, Alabama, which would be the first time I connect with the official Great Loop, or I can leave in the boat from here in Houston, but that adds about 500 miles. Plus, I want to take a pretty big detour, not a detour, but one of the optional routes, which goes up into Canada, called the Trent Severn Waterway. Let's see, what's it like out in the Gulf today, or in the Bay, the Galveston Bay? It's pretty good. I'm gonna go. I don't always go out there when it's rough because, unless I'm sailing, because this channel that we're going out right now into Galveston Bay. Ends up kind of like the Miami channel that you see on YouTube all the time, where just big, huge roller waves. So this guy's fishing here. I got a guy behind me, so I'm going to stay kind of over closer to the boardwalk here. Okay, so I'm going on the Great Loop. So I've got this boat. I've been working on it for over a year, actually. Off and on. I use it. I work on it. I stay in it on weekends. And, but I'm preparing it to go on the loop. So when I got it, it's a Macgregor 26M, and it's like a dual-purpose boat. It's got a 60-horse Mercury, which I put on it, and then it's got sails. It's got a jib sail and a mainsail, and it's got a living quarters that's not super huge, but they say you can sleep 6 in it, but it would have to be me and 5 girlfriends, I think, to be comfortable. Anyway, so... And all it had really was a sink, a little tiny sink, which I still have. It's got a little alcohol stove, which I don't use, but I still have in there. And it's got some beds and cushions and everything. And it had one 12-volt circuit with 4 fuses in it. It was really set up just to operate the 4 interior 12-volt lights. So what I've had to do for this boat is virtually convert it to a tiny home you know what I mean? Like I got a better mattress in it. I've put a second 12-volt circuit with 4 different circuits. So now I got 8 12-volt fused 12-volt circuits that I use for various different things, because I got a ton of electronics on this boat. And then I also put in a 120 volt circuit with an outlet out here. I've got a 30 amp outlet on the outside of the boat here that I can, run a 50-foot cord. Let's kind of turn towards these waves here. I'm going to try a little bit of speed. So it looks like I've already lost the chart plotter. I got the dagger board down and I've got the rudders down, so I really shouldn't be going over 6 miles an hour. Okay, I still got the chart plotter, but you know what? This view doesn't show up very good, so let's go to this view. You okay, Checkers? What's the matter, buddy? Think he can hear me talking. There's a couple sailboats way out there. I think it's about 3 or 4 knots of wind today. Checkers, buddy. Do you need to come up here? Okay, so let's test out this trolling motor. Kind of in the middle of the channel I'm off to the side a little bit. So I just set the anchor. So it should hold me in this position here. I mounted a trolling motor up on the front. Hey, Checkers, come on. You want to come up? You want to come up? Oh, stuff is falling around in here. That's what it is. Okay, come on, buddy. Wait, no. Hold on. Let me put this up. Okay, so I'm going to unanchor and I'm going to trim it back up. Okay, there you go, buddy. You don't have your life jacket on, but I got all the ropes up, so it should be good. It's just too hot for him to have that life jacket on. I say that, but it's also too wet to drown. Wonder if that's my neighbor. Okay. Checkers, I'm going to get your I'm going to get your life jacket because I just scares me too much. Wait. Okay. I know you're going to be hot, buddy, but it's better to be hot than unsafe. Okay? Okay. All right. Okay, so we're 9.8, 9.7 feet of water. There's a crab pot right over there. Okay, let's check the stream. See if we think the audio is still working. Test, test, test. It looks like it's still... Uh-oh. What did I just do? Uh-oh. Okay. Just pressed something I shouldn't have. Test, test, test. Looks like it's working. Okay. So Checkers just stuffed himself in between me and the back of my seat. Okay. All right. So we're out in Galveston Bay. Nobody coming up behind us. We're heading into the wind. That's why I got the flags. I got the flags instead of a $1,500 wind instrument that I really wanted. But I've overspent already. So I was talking about the boat and turning it into basically a tiny home. I added the 12-volt circuit. I added the 120-volt exterior watertight plug and a 50-foot 30-amp cord. And then from that plug, it goes into a small breaker box with two 15-amp breakers. Kind of wish I would have went with 3 or 4, and maybe even 20 amp, but I didn't want a big metal box inside there, and I was really struggling to find either a fiberglass or plastic breaker box. Actually, I shouldn't worry about it. I can add another one really easy. So I could add another box just like the one I got. It's really only about a 5 by 3 inch, a little bit bigger than a single gang outlet box. It's probably not even as wide as a double gang. But anyway, I got two 15 amp breakers in it. And then from there, I have two circuits coming out. And they both go to double gang outlet boxes. So I basically have 8 120 volt outlets from shore power. And then I have a couple of power strips because I plug in more than 8 things. I don't use, if I don't use all of those at the same time, I could probably get by with even only 4 outlets, but it's just more handy to have everything plugged in all the time, even though if I'm not using it. And then I also have a product from a company that I'm not going to mention because I'm feuding with them right now to get some solar panels replaced. So I don't want to promote them. But I have solar panels, I have an air conditioner, and I have a 2200 watt battery storage system, all from the same company. And I'm going to turn around here. Got a massive boat coming in. Wow. So that 2200 watt battery also has a solar controller in it, so the solar panels will charge that thing. The solar panels that don't work for shit. And then, in addition, it has an inverter, so you can run 12 volt things from it, but you can also run 120 volt things from that. And that's got about probably 8, maybe even more than 8, maybe it's 9, 120 volt outlets. Wow, look at the size of that thing. That is a nice boat. Can you see that boat? Where is it? I can't see it on the camera. So I have quite a few things plugged into that, and what I have plugged into that is, in fact, there's an extension cord going from that out to here. So I'm actually running all of my devices out here, which I'll tell you about eventually, from that 120 volt inverter that's getting its power from the 2200 watt battery. That's pretty slick. You know, it's a fair amount of power, and the fact that I can either run 12 volt things or 120 volt is pretty handy. The only drawback is when you're using the 120 volt devices powered off of that inverter, it's using more energy than what it would be if I had them plugged in directly to 112 volts. And one of the things running from that right now is my refrigerator. And I have it running on 120 volts on the inverter, but I don't need to. I can also plug it in 12 volts. But I don't have a long enough cord. So when I plug it in, it goes across my aisle. I got to fix, or not fix it, but solve that. So I'm only out for a short time today. If I was going to be traveling on the Great Loop, where I might be in this boat for 8 hours, I wouldn't run that refrigerator on 120 volts. It just uses more power than it does if it's on 12. Because it's got to run the inverter, and there's an efficiency drop on that. So there's that. And then I have an extension cord coming back here, or maybe I already said that, to power all of my streaming devices in the cockpit. I've got 2 Garmins and 2 transducers, sonars. One's like a standard side view, rear side view. I don't know. I forget what it does. Side view for sure, but it might have one other view too. I don't know that much about them. But I've also got a live scope sonar, which I don't have in the water at the moment because I don't have my permanent location for that. I use it every once in a while, but I have to drop it in. And I don't want that in the water when I'm moving or going fast. Okay, so on my chat, there's a link there for location. If you click that, in fact, I wish somebody was on because you could click it and tell me if it's working. But that should show you where I'm at on a Google map.